Recently, I've been receiving a lot of emails from people asking me for advice about how to make science videos. And rather than write back the same thing to all of these people, I thought I would make a video about it. Plus, we're gonna go buy a tripod because I lost my tripod on a recent trip, so we're heading into the city. Now, I imagine these people are expecting me to say something brilliant. I think it's easier just to wait around until someone tells you what to do than just to start doing it and to try it out. So if I've got one piece of advice, it's just start doing it. And it probably won't be that good to start with, but you just gotta start somewhere, you know? You could make a video while you're going on a stupid shopping errand. People will come with you. This is Biltong. It's a South African dried beef product. A lot of people like to think of it like a beef jerky, but it's so much better than that. I don't want to make the people on the train uncomfortable, so I'm not going to talk on the train. My advice sounds so simple. I mean, just start making videos. So why don't we? Why does everyone find it so difficult? Well, the answer is you want to make something that's good. You want to make something that's popular, that everyone likes. And you're worried that what if you make it and nobody does like it or it's bad? And so rather than face that reality, you just don't make anything. Right now I feel a pretty serious guilt because it's been about 2 weeks since I posted anything on Veritasium. And I have this footage from jetpacking and some footage of imploding some drums. Whoa! But I'm just not sure that it's gonna be that good. I mean, if you wanna see one of these videos, can you let me know in the comments which one you wanna see? But my point is, I suffer the same trouble as the rest of us, right? You gotta pick a good idea, you gotta do it well, and you gotta worry the whole time that, you know, people are actually gonna appreciate it for what it is. And so sometimes that makes you procrastinate. So what are the most common mistakes? Well, by far, the most common mistake on YouTube is starting the video too early. In other words, I mean having too much preamble at the beginning. Today I'm at the University of Sydney with Dr. Phil, and we're talking about the pressure that all of us are under.
You are under a lot of pressure, probably 10,000 kilograms.
10,000 kilograms is pressing in on my whole body.
All from all sides.
Where does all this pressure come from?
It's from the air.
That looks like a dance move. You should just get to the point. Or as we like to say, lead with awesome.
Go the laws of physics!
Yeah. Whoa! There are so many YouTube videos that lead with a whole bunch of crap that nobody wants to watch before they get to something interesting. I know because I made a lot of these kinds of videos, like my original imploding drum video and my super cooled water video. Fiji water has been recommended to me by a friend. The cool bits of those videos only come like at the very end of the video. Whoa, look at that. So like, who is planning this? Well, I was hoping that maybe I was building a bit of suspense, but now looking back, it just looks dumb. You know, don't build suspense. Give people something to make it worth watching. And that bus is really, really loud. Another issue that happens early on is that when you're speaking to a camera, you don't speak as animatedly as you would to a person. And I think that's natural because a camera is just this little box there, and I don't know, it just feels unnatural getting excited speaking to it. And again, when I look back at my original videos, they all seem really subdued and my voice is really boring. If the water is not pure, the impurities in the water naturally act as sites where the crystal can start forming. Why am I talking like that? That's not how I normally talk. I had a producer on my first ABC shoot and he said to me, Derek, you know how the camera adds 15 pounds? And I said, yeah. He said, well, it subtracts 20% of your enthusiasm. And I had never heard that before, but I guess it kind of woke me up to the whole issue of you need to be talking like you normally do, and when you talk to a camera, you don't normally do that. But I don't think it's just me. I mean, if you look at like Henry Reich's first minute physics video, his tone is a lot more subdued.
We're all familiar with gravity as the reason objects fall, but there's much, much more to gravity than that. Gravity is a long-range attractive force between all objects with mass. It's what keeps us from falling off the Earth, it's what keeps the Earth in orbit around the Sun, and it's what caused the Sun itself to form 4.5 billion years ago. It's
one of those things that I think all of us go through, and then we kind of find our tone. You know the problem with Biltong? You really, honestly cannot stop. It's just so good. In my opinion, the biggest cop-out when it comes to education is the individual differences approach. The idea that what works for one person may not work for the next. Now my point is that's not necessarily wrong, it's true. I'm sure that some people learn in some ways and other people learn in other ways, but the point is that doesn't get you anywhere if you want to generalize about how we should do education. The question is, are there commonalities that make it better to produce educational video in, say, one way rather than another? Is there a way that we can optimize so that most people will learn best with these things? And I think the answer to that is yes. Obviously, if you've been following me for a while, you know about my misconceptions perspective that we need to incorporate misconceptions into all these videos. But the thing is, there are some topics where there aren't strong misconceptions, in which case I don't feel the need to go out in the street and interview people because they're not going to have any idea anyway. My point is to interview people when they have these existing ideas which are strong and well-formed and they're thinking them, they're really thinking them, and you cannot reach them without first addressing those alternative conceptions. I guess my point is education is both art and science. There is science in it in that I think there are commonalities that we can exploit to make better education. But it's an art in that some of it is just what you think is best, and really there are so many variables you just can't control them. You need to make it work how you think it should work, how you think works best for people. You know, there's so much creativity and originality and opportunity for all that, and it should be there. Tripod time.
Something like this. Yeah, very durable.
Yeah, it's okay. Product. That's why. And where we want to go to.
Okay, so since I just purchased a new tripod, we may as well talk gear. I think the price of making videos has come down a lot in the last couple of years. Like now you can get a GoPro Hero 3, the white edition, which is a very simple version, but you know, for basic stuff that would work fine, and that's only 200 bucks. Then you can edit with iMovie or something like that. But what about the gear that I use for high production values? Well, my main camera is the Panasonic AF100, which costs about $5 grand. And then you have to add a nice lens on top of that, something like a Voigtlander 25mm, which is an effective 50mm lens, but it shoots in near darkness. Some of the videos I shot in only candlelight. When I went to shoot the Northern Lights, I bought a new camera, a Canon 5D Mark III, which you need if you're going to shoot like a longer exposure, so for shooting things like the time lapses of the night sky or of the aurora. And I've been really happy with the 5D, but again, you're dropping another several grand. So unless you want to shoot things like that, you can just go with a more basic camera. In terms of editing, I'm now using Final Cut Pro X, which is only 350 bucks. Now a lot of people hate FCP X or Final Cut Pro 10, and it's quite buggy, and it's new, and it's really not that good or fully featured as the old version of Final Cut, which was a very mature piece of software. But I'm calling it right now, that is the future. FCP-X can handle a lot of footage natively which other software programs can't handle, and it can use a lot more of your RAM, and so it's quite quick, you never have to render. These are fantastic things about the software that I love. One night my hardware broke and I had to improvise, so I ended up drawing stick figures in paint. And that actually got me access to my first ever TED event, with my video featured on the TED stage. The main point is that if you think that you're being restricted by time or money or by equipment, you are just fooling yourself, and you need to get out there and just start making stuff. And chances are it won't be very good for a while, but that's alright, you know? Everyone goes through that. I'm still going through that sometimes. I really like having two Veritasium because I feel like the people who watch this channel are the real hardcore subscribers whose comments I should listen to. So I always really find it interesting to read your comments, so please post any below and I will get back to you. And if you're not already following me on Twitter and Instagram, then why don't you click on these annotations here and get to it. Now for those of you who want to see that inspirational video that I was talking about by Ira Glass, just click this link or click the link in the description, and that'll take you to a playlist where I've got all of his videos, plus maybe a few interstitials if I get the energy to do it. Alright, until next time. I ate so much biltong and it is so salty, and now I am so thirsty.